If you're over 60, there's one sweet, juicy habit that could quietly raise your risk of a stroke overnight. Without warning, without symptoms, without pain. You go to bed feeling fine, but by morning your words are slurred, your balance is gone, or one side of your body simply refuses to move. As a brain doctor, I've seen far too many older adults suffer strokes they never saw coming. Not from cigarettes, not from greasy fast food, not from sitting on the couch all day, but from something they believed was helping them stay healthy. Fruit. Yes, fruit. Millions of older adults eat it every day, trusting it to nourish their heart, protect their brain, and keep digestion on track. And while many fruits do support healthy aging, some, especially when eaten at the wrong time or in the wrong amounts, can quietly cause harm. They can spike blood sugar, dehydrate the brain, or dangerously interact with medications. The worst part? Almost nobody warns you. Today, I'll share 9 common fruits that can raise your risk of stroke, memory loss, or even a brain bleed, particularly after 60. Some of them might already be sitting in your kitchen right now. And as we go through them, I'll explain the hidden risks, the science behind them, and what you can do to stay safe while still enjoying the sweetness of life. You've heard it all your life. Bananas are the perfect snack. Soft, easy to digest, loaded with potassium, and even labeled heart healthy. And for someone in their 30s or 40s, that's mostly true. But past 60, the way your body handles potassium changes dramatically. Your kidneys, the organs responsible for filtering excess minerals, naturally slow down with age. If you already have high blood pressure, diabetes, or take medications like ACE inhibitors or diuretics, this process is even slower. The result? Potassium from bananas can quietly build up in your blood. Too much potassium can make your heart's electrical system misfire, tighten your blood vessels, and trigger blood clots in places where blood should flow freely. If that clot travels to the brain, it can cut off function in seconds. I remember one patient, Raymond, 66, a retired carpenter. He lived actively, ate healthy, and every morning sliced a banana over his oatmeal, washing it down with blood pressure medication and orange juice. After more than a year of this routine, his wife found him collapsed in the bathroom. At the hospital, we discovered a small but devastating stroke. His potassium levels were dangerously high, disrupting his heart rhythm and creating the perfect environment for a clot while he slept. Here's what most older adults never hear. You don't need that much potassium anymore. One large banana has over 450 milligrams, more than enough to unbalance your system if your kidneys aren't at full strength. Eating it at night makes things worse, when circulation slows, hydration drops, and medications are still active. That's a perfect storm. Stiffened arteries, sticky blood, and a clot forming silently. If you're over 60 and take heart or blood pressure medication, limit bananas to half a fruit in the morning, always with protein like yogurt or nuts to slow absorption. Skip banana-heavy smoothies, banana bread, and especially bedtime bananas. And most importantly, talk to your doctor about potassium-rich foods and your prescriptions, because what was once harmless may now be a quiet danger. And if bananas surprised you, wait until you hear about grapes. Those tiny, sweet snacks that can send sugar rushing through your veins and silently inflame the vessels that feed your brain. Sweet, juicy, refreshing. Grapes feel so harmless you can eat them by the handful without thinking twice. They appear on fruit platters, in cereal bowls, or as a light afternoon snack. But for people over 60, grapes can be a silent trigger for stroke. Each tiny grape is a capsule of concentrated sugar, glucose and fructose, wrapped in a delicate skin. The extra sweet seedless varieties so common in stores pack an even bigger punch. As we age, the body's insulin response slows and blood vessels grow more fragile. A sudden sugar surge doesn't just stress your pancreas. It inflames the lining of your arteries, including those that feed your brain. Over time, inflamed vessels stiffen, microscopic tears form, and the body builds tiny clots to repair them. In younger people, those clots dissolve quickly. In older adults, they can lodge in narrowed arteries and trigger a stroke without warning. Maria, 80, a retired teacher, lived by the motto, "Natural is best." Every morning she enjoyed a generous bowl of red grapes while reading the paper, sometimes nearly 2 cups. One morning, while writing a greeting card, her vision blurred, her hand trembled, and she forgot a simple word. It was a mini-stroke, a clot briefly cutting off blood flow to her brain. Her lab results told the story: sharp midday sugar spikes, pre-diabetic A1C, and chronic vessel inflammation. The cause wasn't candy or soda. It was years of eating high-sugar fruit alone, without protein or fiber to slow absorption. For older adults, timing and pairing matter. Grapes digest fast, sending sugar rushing through your veins. Eat them alone, especially when dehydrated or stressed, and you create conditions where blood thickens, vessels constrict, and clotting becomes more likely. Limit yourself to a small handful. Pair with protein like almonds or cheese, and avoid them on an empty stomach or in large portions. Because what feels like a refreshing snack can over time quietly rob you of balance, memory, and independence. Pineapple feels like sunshine in a bite. Sweet, tangy, tropical. Many older adults enjoy it after dinner, believing it's light and good for digestion. But pineapple contains bromelain, an enzyme that in small amounts aids digestion, yet in excess can interfere with blood clotting. Combined with certain medications, this can make blood too thin or trigger unpredictable clot formation. A cup of pineapple also delivers over 16 grams of sugar and has a high glycemic index, causing a rapid blood sugar spike. If eaten late in the day, that sugar isn't burned for energy. It circulates, stressing blood vessels while you sleep. And pineapple's high acidity can irritate the esophagus, causing silent reflux at night, which in some seniors reduces oxygen to the brain and raises the risk of early morning strokes. Clara, 77, thought she was making a healthy choice by replacing dessert with pineapple each night. One morning, she woke foggy and unsteady. Tests revealed a small stroke, with evidence of glucose spikes, reflux irritation, and platelet changes, the perfect storm created by her nightly habit. If you love pineapple, enjoy it earlier in the day, in small amounts, and never on an empty stomach or before bed. Avoid it with blood-thinning medication unless approved by your doctor. Your brain needs stability during sleep, not sudden shifts in blood chemistry. And if pineapple surprised you, wait until we look at a fruit celebrated for hydration, but that can, under the wrong conditions, quietly dry out your brain and thicken your blood overnight. Nothing says summer like a chilled slice of watermelon. With its sweetness and 90% water content, it feels like the ultimate healthy refresher. But watermelon is also a mild diuretic, making you urinate more often. For younger people, that's harmless. For older adults, especially those on diuretics or ACE inhibitors, it can cause overnight dehydration. When you're dehydrated, blood thickens, moving slowly through narrowed arteries and giving clots more time to form. This risk peaks at night, when blood pressure naturally drops and circulation slows. Howard, 82, ended his dinners with 2 or 3 large slices of watermelon, believing it kept him hydrated. But between the fruit and his prescribed water pill, his body lost too much fluid overnight. One morning, severe dizziness sent him collapsing to the floor. At the hospital, tests showed low blood pressure, concentrated blood, and a small ischemic stroke. If you enjoy watermelon, have it earlier in the day, pair it with a pinch of salt or electrolyte-rich fluids, and be cautious if you take medication that affects hydration. Pay attention to morning dizziness, dry mouth at night, or waking up confused. These can be quiet warning signs, because even a fruit that seems pure water can, under the wrong circumstances, rob your brain of the very hydration it needs to stay safe. For decades, oranges have been a symbol of good health. A glass of juice with breakfast, a bowl of slices on the table, the classic holiday orange in a stocking. But for older adults on certain medications, Oranges can quietly tip the balance toward danger. The problem isn't just the sugar. Though one large orange or a glass of juice can spike blood glucose, it's a natural compound in citrus called furanocoumarin. This chemical can interfere with liver enzymes that process many common drugs, including statins, calcium channel blockers, and blood thinners. The result? Your body may hold on to too much medication, raising toxicity, or clear it too fast, making it ineffective. Either scenario can destabilize your blood chemistry, constrict arteries unpredictably, or encourage clot formation. Elmer, 79, started each day with fresh orange juice alongside his heart and blood pressure medicine. Over time, drug levels built up in his system, even though he took the correct dose. One morning, he collapsed with slurred speech. Tests showed a mild stroke and dangerously high medication levels, caused not by a prescription error, but by the way citrus blocked his liver from clearing the drugs. If you're on prescription medications, especially for heart or blood pressure, eat oranges sparingly. Avoid full glasses of juice unless your doctor confirms it's safe, and consider lower-risk citrus like small clementines in moderation. Because sometimes it's not the pill bottle that creates the risk. It's what you pair it with at the breakfast table. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. It's one of the most enduring health sayings. Crisp, juicy, and easy to eat, apples have long been seen as the symbol of wholesome living. But for older adults, not all apples are equal. Many popular varieties, Fuji, Honeycrisp, Gala, are bred for sweetness, not nutrition. These high-sugar apples have a greater glycemic load, flooding your bloodstream with sugar faster than your aging metabolism can handle. If eaten alone, especially without protein or healthy fat, they cause a rapid blood sugar spike, followed by a sharp crash. Each spike thickens the blood, tightens blood vessels, and over time damages the delicate lining of your arteries. Microscopic tears form, and in older, narrower vessels, the clots that repair those tears can trigger a stroke. Louise, 81, believed her daily large Honeycrisp apple was a smart choice. But over time, she noticed blurred vision in the evenings and occasional head pressure when standing. One evening, she lost her ability to speak clearly. A mild stroke caused by unstable blood sugar patterns and vessel inflammation. If you love apples, choose lower sugar varieties like Granny Smith and always pair them with protein or fat, almond butter, cheese, yogurt, to slow absorption. Avoid eating very sweet apples on an empty stomach or late in the day. Even the most iconic health food can quietly set the stage for a stroke if eaten without awareness. Small, vibrant, and bursting with flavor, cherries are often praised for reducing inflammation, easing arthritis pain, and supporting heart health. But for older adults already on blood-thinning medications, they can tip the balance into danger. Cherries naturally contain salicylates, compounds similar to aspirin that can thin the blood. For someone taking warfarin, clopidogrel, or even a daily aspirin, adding large amounts of cherries can make blood too thin to clot when needed, raising the risk of hemorrhagic stroke, a bleed inside the brain. Daniel, 84, ended every dinner with a bowl of cherries, believing they were a perfect dessert. Weeks later, he began having headaches, dizziness, and nausea. One morning, his wife found him confused and vomiting. A scan revealed a brain bleed. His medication dose was correct. The danger came from the compounded thinning effect of cherries, plus his prescriptions. The risk builds slowly and silently. You feel fine until bleeding starts. And by then, stopping it is extremely difficult. Recovery can be uncertain, often leaving lasting speech or mobility issues. If you're on blood thinners, enjoy cherries only occasionally. Avoid cherry juice, concentrate, and large daily servings. Always tell your doctor if cherries are part of your diet. Because even a healthy fruit can turn risky when it interacts with the wrong medication. Bright red, heart-shaped, and sweetly tart. Strawberries look like the picture of health. They appear in brain-boosting smoothies, hospital meal trays, and brunch platters everywhere. But strawberries are among the most pesticide-contaminated fruits sold today. Year after year, they top the dirty dozen list for produce with the highest pesticide residues, even after washing. For older adults, this matters more because the liver and kidneys clear toxins more slowly with age. These residues can build up in tissues, including the brain, where they damage nerve cells and weaken small blood vessels. Many of these pesticides are neurotoxic, causing oxidative stress that erodes the brain's white matter, the network crucial for balance, memory, and coordination. Weak vessel walls are more likely to tear or rupture, raising stroke risk. Strawberries also contain purines, which break down into uric acid. In people with gout, kidney disease, or vascular inflammation, all common in seniors, elevated uric acid can trigger vessel inflammation, increase blood pressure, and encourage clot formation. Elaine, 80, loved strawberries. She picked them fresh each summer, froze them for smoothies, and ate a handful after dinner almost daily. Over time, she developed morning dizziness and joint swelling. One day she awoke with numbness in her right hand and slurred speech. A minor ischemic stroke revealed high uric acid, oxidative stress, and vessel inflammation, conditions quietly worsened by her daily strawberry habit. If you eat strawberries, buy organic, wash thoroughly, avoid making them a daily staple, and be cautious if you have gout, kidney issues, or are on blood pressure medication. Even superfoods can turn harmful in the wrong body at the wrong time. Golden, fragrant, and irresistibly sweet, mango feels like a tropical gift. You'll find it fresh in salads, blended into smoothies, or dried in healthy snack packs. But for older adults, mango carries two major risks. First, it's one of the highest sugar fruits. 1 cup contains nearly 45 grams of natural sugar, more than many desserts. This sugar hits your bloodstream quickly, causing sharp spikes and crashes that inflame arteries, tighten vessels, and create tiny cracks in their lining. In an aging vascular system, these cracks can lead to clots and, eventually, stroke. Second, mango contains compounds like mangiferin that interfere with the liver's cytochrome P450 enzyme system, the same pathway your body uses to process many medications for heart rhythm, cholesterol, and blood pressure. This slows drug breakdown, causing medication levels to build up to dangerous levels, even at normal doses. William, 83, swapped his afternoon cookies for dried mango slices, believing it was a healthier choice. But he was on medication for high blood pressure and atrial fibrillation. Weeks later, he collapsed one morning. A mild stroke revealed low blood pressure and abnormally high drug levels, a result of mango's interference with his liver's ability to clear the medicine, combined with repeated sugar surges. If you enjoy mango, keep portions tiny, have it earlier in the day, pair it with protein or healthy fat, and talk to your doctor if you take prescription medications. What feels like a harmless fruit can, under the wrong conditions, quietly set the stage for disaster. After hearing about these 9 fruits, you might feel surprised, maybe even a bit betrayed. For decades, fruit has been seen as nature's perfect medicine, a safe, reliable friend to your health. But aging changes how the body responds to food. Your kidneys filter more slowly, your liver clears medications less efficiently, your blood vessels become more fragile, and your brain grows more sensitive to changes in blood sugar, blood pressure, and clotting. Habits that once seemed harmless, a banana with your pills, grapes as a snack, pineapple after dinner, a glass of orange juice at breakfast, can now quietly set off a chain reaction. Inflammation, vessel damage, clot formation, or even bleeding. I've seen too many patients wake up healthy and end the day in the ICU, all because of a clot no bigger than a grain of rice in the wrong place at the wrong time. The good news is that most of these events are preventable, not with more medicine, but with better awareness. Not all fruits are risky. In fact, some are excellent allies for the aging brain and heart. Berries. Low in sugar, high in antioxidants that protect vessels. Green apples, especially Granny Smith, lower in sugar and rich in flavonoids. Avocados, packed with healthy fats to stabilize blood pressure and support nerve function. Lemons and limes, for flavor and gentle detox without sugar overload. Pomegranate, in small diluted amounts for antioxidant support. Golden rules for fruit after 60. Eat it earlier in the day, never on an empty stomach, always pair it with protein or healthy fat, avoid it before bed, and know your medication interactions. This isn't about fear or giving up life's pleasures. It's about eating with respect for the body you have now, not the one you had decades ago. Because at this stage, every choice matters, for your brain, your independence, and your future.